Like what you see here? Then be sure to subscribe to Jaguar Gator 8, a channel devoted to the history of college football. New videos drop twice a week. Click the card in the upper right corner or the link in the description to subscribe now. And now, on with our feature presentation.
If you know the name of the hotel the Cross Keys Inn, and know the name of the hotel in relation to the New York Yankees, odds are it's for the infamous and well-documented 1985 incident between manager Billy Martin and pitcher Ed Whitson. There are tons of articles and videos about that already, so I'm not going to dive too much into it. But to make a long story short, sometime around midnight or 1 a.m., Whitson was at the bar of the hotel and was complaining about being pulled from the game by his manager. The two men then fought with each other, with Martin yelling at Whitson, "I'm gonna kill you," and yelled at one point that he would find Whitson and suspend him for the rest of his life. Now, why everyone was at a bar that late in the night when they had a 1:20 game with a 10:45 bus ride to the stadium, I've got nothing. But this whole situation was a dysfunctional mess in the incredibly chaotic, off-the-wall career of Billy Martin. As a side note, to learn more about Whitson, you can do so by clicking the card in the upper right corner. However, while you probably know about that incident, you probably don't know that this was not the only time that the Yankees got tied up in a massive controversy at the Cross Keys Inn. Seriously, somehow, the Yankees were not only allowed to stay at that hotel going forward, even after the whole blow-up with an all-out fight at the bar, but another controversy occurred roughly 1 decade later. This time, the controversy involved this man right here, third baseman Charlie Hayes. All things considered, Hayes had a great career in the majors. He played over 1,500 games, led the National League in doubles in 1993 as a member of the Colorado Rockies, got some votes for MVP in 1995 as a member of the Philadelphia Phillies, made just under $15 million throughout his career, and even won the World Series in 1996 with the New York Yankees. But let's just say that this bizarre altercation was not his finest moment. Not at all. Because this is the story behind Charlie Hayes, the horrible stay at the Cross Keys Inn, and what has to be the worst autograph signing in the history of the New York Yankees. Before I talk about the incident in question and the aftermath from it, we need some context to understand just who Charlie Hayes was, and how he and the Yankees were doing. Even though Hayes hadn't played a ton of time in New York, spending the 1992 season there, and then getting traded midway through the 1996 season, he was already a Yankee legend, and was already a player who etched his name into the record books. Without him, the Yankees might not win that 1996 World Series, and might not win their first title since 1978. With the Yankees down 1-0 in the ALDS against the Texas Rangers, and trailing in Game 2, Hayes pinch hit for Wade Boggs, got the sacrifice fly to get the Yanks back into the game, and had the game-winning sacrifice bunt in the bottom of the 12th inning that scored Derek Jeter and got the Yankees back into the series. His performance off the bench was what sparked that playoff run. In Game 4 of the World Series against the Atlanta Braves, the Yankees trailed 6-0 after 5 innings, and looked dead in the water, about to fall behind 3-1 in the series. But Hayes had 3 hits, including a critical RBI in the 6th inning to kickstart the rally, and had the plate appearance in the top of the 10th that gave the Yankees some insurance, as they would stun the Braves by winning 8-6, completing a remarkable comeback. And in the final game of that World Series, despite dislocating his finger earlier in the game, Hayes stayed in and recorded the final out to officially give the Yankees the title. His catch, because it was the final out, still lives on in baseball history to this day. Bottom line, in just a short period of time, Charlie Hayes was a Yankee legend, so it made complete sense why some fans would gravitate toward him. But more on that in just a bit. And through the first 2 months of the 1997 season, Hayes and the Yankees seemed to be picking up right where they left off. Through the first 56 games of the season, they were 31-25. And even though the Baltimore Orioles were on cruise control right now atop the AL East, the Yanks had a big chance to cut into that lead. Because after defeating the Boston Red Sox by a final score of 5-2, they were getting ready to travel to Camden Yards for an all-important 2-game series against the leaders, the Baltimore Orioles. Win this series with a sweep, and all of a sudden, the AL East becomes wide open again. The plan for the Yankees was simple. After playing the Red Sox that Monday night, they would fly into Baltimore and check into their hotel, the Cross Keys Inn. But as you could probably imagine, this was a heck of a long night, where everyone was feeling relatively tired. And as soon as they got to the hotel, they just wanted to go to their room and crash. Usually before traveling, the game before is a day game. That was not the case here, as the Yankees-Red Sox game started at 6:05. If you know anything about games between the Yankees and the Red Sox, they can run long. Really, really long. This one in question, despite only being a 9-inning affair, took 3 hours and 27 minutes to complete, so the game was not over until 9:32. Now combine post-game interviews, cleaning up the clubhouse, getting dressed, and going to the airport, and factor in the roughly 2 hours that it takes to fly the roughly 400 miles from Boston to Baltimore, and yeah, that's a pretty long night. And when all was said and done, Charlie Hayes, the man you've been watching, and the Yankees did not arrive at their hotel, the Cross Keys Inn, until 2 a.m. At this point, you've played a long, exhausting baseball game, and you've got to be at the ballpark in roughly 14 hours to do it all over again. You just got off a long flight, and it's super late at night. All you want to do is go to bed and crash. However, when you're the Yankees, and you've got fans traveling down to Baltimore for the series, or you've got fans who live in Baltimore, and said fans know what hotel you're staying at, this might be easier said than done. Because when the Yankees arrived at the Cross Keys Inn, there was one Yankee fan waiting in the lobby. One singular Yankee fan. We don't know much about this fan. We don't know his age, whether he came alone, or anything like that. All we know is that he was a Yankee fan who happened to be staying at the Cross Keys Inn, came down from New York for this, knew that the Yankees were in town, and decided to stay up and wait for their arrival and greet them, and maybe get an autograph out of it. And so, when the Yankees arrived at their hotel at 2 a.m., the fan asked Charlie Hayes for his autograph. Now, I want to make it very clear. No player has an obligation to give autographs. I completely get the idea of wanting to just crash once getting to the hotel. I've been there many times myself. Sure, it's nice when players give autographs. Around that same time, Cal Ripken did a book signing that started at midnight, and stayed for such a long time that he signed over 2,000 books. But there are plenty of valid reasons why a player might not want to give an autograph. They're preoccupied with something else. They don't want to draw a scene, because if they sign one thing and stop, then you might get a swarm of people. They're worried about resellers. They might be prohibited by a sponsor from doing so, as there might be something written in the contract that says they can only give autographs at sponsor-sanctioned events. They just don't feel comfortable giving out autographs, especially to adults. Whatever the reason, again, if a player gives an autograph, it's great, and while it's appreciated, they don't have to do that. However, there's a right way and a wrong way to say that you're not going to give an autograph. And let's just say that Hayes went about this in the wrong way. If he said, "Sorry, I can't," that's fine. It's a non-story. If he just walked past the fan without any acknowledgement, that's fine. It's a non-story. If he said, "I'm too tired, but come back tomorrow and I'll sign," or something along those lines, that's fine. It's a non-story. However, Hayes did not do any of those things. Instead, he not only rejected the fan's request for an autograph, but verbally abused the fan, brushed him off, and then yelled out racial slurs, including, "I hate white people." Yeah, I don't think you can say that. Gonna go out on a limb and say that this is very bad. First off, I'm not sure how one person asking for an autograph and doing so in a completely non-invasive or aggressive manner, according to witnesses, equates to hating an entire race of people. Not that anything should equate to hating an entire race of people, but especially not one person asking for your autograph. Secondly, just imagine for a second if the roles were reversed. And yeah, it's ugly. It's really ugly. And on top of that, it also makes it seem like you brushed him off for an autograph because he was white and discriminated against him based on that, which is literally the worst reason to deny someone an autograph. Any other reason would have been better than what essentially comes down to, "I don't do things for white people." Again, denying someone an autograph is one thing. Yelling at him and saying that you hate white people? That crosses about 5,000 lines. And it's one of the reasons why Hayes eventually found himself in the last place he wanted to be in, George Steinbrenner's doghouse. Because this incident seemed to be the tipping point for Steinbrenner, seeing as shortly after, he ordered manager Joe Torre to bench Hayes and to not play him at third base anymore, because he was embarrassing the organization. And afterwards, you can bet that this story drew headlines. As one writer said, there are literally thousands of better responses Hayes could have given. Even "I would love to sign for you, but then I would have to kill you" is better. Sometimes, the most fail-safe response by an athlete to an unwanted autograph request is no response at all. Hayes was forced to personally apologize to the fan, and the fan received a ticket to their June 10th game at Yankee Stadium against the Chicago White Sox. Said Hayes, "I said a few things I shouldn't have said. It's just an unfortunate incident, and I apologize for it. It's time to move on." Hayes then added, "All I can say is that I'm sorry. There's nothing else I can say. It was an unfortunate situation." But then, Hayes added a bizarre comment that in the grand scheme of things, didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. As Hayes said, "I know I'm not a bad person. I think I signed my share of autographs. You can sign your autograph 3 days in a row for the same guy, and the 4th day, you don't sign, and the guy gets mad. Aside from the fact that that's not what happened, way to miss the forest for the trees there, Charlie. You do realize that's not what this is about, right? Let's be honest. No one cares whether or not you sign an autograph. That's entirely your prerogative. The fan's not angry because you didn't sign an autograph for him. But people aren't angry because you didn't sign one autograph for a day. The controversy is that you said you didn't sign for him because he was white, and you said that you hated white people. That's like if you're a chef and you make a meal and put peanuts in it with someone that has a peanut allergy. The food comes out 5 minutes late, and you say, "It's crazy that you can deliver quick ticket times consistently." And the one time it comes out a bit late, people get mad at you and say you're a bad chef. Like, that's not why people are angry. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things if the food came out a few minutes later than expected. They're angry because you put nuts in something for someone who said they had a nut allergy. You completely missed the point. Oh, and for what it's worth, Hayes did not find himself on the Yankees after that 1997 season, with this incident playing a relatively big part in that. So what's the moral of the story here? If you're going to sign an autograph for someone, great. If you're not going to do it, that's okay as well. But if you're not going to do it, don't explicitly say that you're not going to do it because of the color of their skin and because you hate white people. Don't discriminate with your autographs. The fact that something like that even needs to be said is crazy. But apparently, when it came to Hayes, it did. Because whatever your policy on giving autographs is, and who gets one and who doesn't, It should follow the words of Michael Jackson. It don't matter if you're black or white. Get your official Jaguar Gator 9 merchandise by going to jj9shop.com, and be sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Join me every Wednesday night where we'll play NFL Trivia for cash prizes at 9 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. To learn more about the history of college football, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 8. To learn more about the history of Major League Baseball, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 7. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping out the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.